A $100 dress shirt can cost as little as $6 to make. That markup is not paying for better quality. It is paying for the brand machine. Today, we are ranking 10 men's fashion labels, 5 where the price is driven by logos and licensing, and 5 where the money actually goes into the garment. We start at number 10 with a heritage name whose fabric tells a very different story than its price tag. Tommy Hilfiger is a clear example of mainstream brand markup. A typical dress shirt from the label sells for $80 to $100, yet the fabric behind it, usually a 140 gram per square meter poly cotton blend, costs only around $2 to $4 per meter. Add labor, trims, and freight, and the landed cost still comes in at roughly $6 to $8. The rest of the retail price is absorbed by licensing, retail margins, and marketing spend. PVH pushes the brand hard through heritage campaigns and image-driven positioning, and those costs land on the consumer. The result? You are not buying a premium shirt. You are buying a logo on mid-tier fabric. Tommy Hilfiger is expensive for what it is, and among the major names, this is only the start. Armani Exchange sits at the entry level of the Armani empire, but its pricing suggests far more than the product delivers. A basic t-shirt from the line often sells for $60 to $90, despite being made from standard mass-produced jersey, often in polyester viscose blends. Unlike Emporio Armani or Giorgio Armani, there is no real link here to Italian tailoring or luxury-grade cloth. What remains is the Armani name, applied to an accessible product with heavy markup. Production cost stays relatively low, yet by the time it reaches the sales floor, the price is many times higher. For the buyer, most of that money goes into branding and presentation, not craftsmanship. In the end, you are paying for the label, not for quality. DKNY is the story of a designer name turned into a licensing business. What was once tied to Donna Karan's original vision now operates largely through outsourced production and trademark-driven management. Most DKNY shirts are produced across factories in China, Cambodia, and Vietnam, with little of the original design identity left in the product. A standard shirt sells for around $85 to $120, while the landed cost is only a small portion of that figure. Between licensing fees, distribution layers, and retail markup, the consumer ends up paying mainly for recognition. The product still trades on the DKNY name, but it no longer carries the same design integrity that once defined it. Michael Kors sells the image of accessible luxury, but many of its accessories reveal a very different reality. Belts, in particular, are often made from bonded leather scraps pressed together with polyurethane and coated to imitate full-grain hide. These belts frequently retail for $80 to $110, even though the actual material and production cost can be only a few dollars. The issue is not just the markup, it is the lifespan. Bonded leather is known for peeling, cracking, and breaking down quickly, especially around the buckle fold. So while the product looks refined at first glance, it is built on a weak material foundation. You are paying for the logo and the presentation, not for lasting quality. Calvin Klein takes brand-based pricing to another level. Dress shirts under the label often retail for $120 to $180, yet the manufacturing base is often nearly identical to Tommy Hilfiger. That is no surprise, since both brands sit under PVH and frequently share the same production networks in places like Bangladesh and Vietnam. The difference in price does not come from a major upgrade in materials or construction. It comes from positioning. Calvin Klein is marketed as more elevated, more polished, and more premium, and the consumer is charged for that perception. In many cases, the shirt itself is not meaningfully different. The label inside the collar and the branding behind it are doing the heavy lifting. This is one of the clearest examples of identical outputs sold at very different prices through pure brand strategy. Now we move to the brands where value, transparency, or construction actually start to justify the price. Uniqlo stands out because it brings real transparency to mass retail. Product pages clearly list fabric composition, and with basics like the Supima cotton t-shirt, the company goes further by identifying certified American-grown Supima, a fiber known for extra-long staple length and consistent quality. That matters because it gives the buyer something measurable instead of vague marketing language. A Supima tee usually sells for $20 to $30, with a markup far lower than what heavily branded labels demand. The value here comes from scale, efficiency, and honest material disclosure. You are paying for verified fabric and practical design, not for a logo premium.
Charles Turwitt takes a more factual approach to dress shirt pricing. Instead of relying on broad claims of quality, the brand often lists concrete details like fiber content and thread count, giving buyers a clearer sense of what they are paying for. Shirts generally sell between $70 and $120, and the direct-to-consumer model removes much of the wholesale markup that inflates prices elsewhere. More importantly, the price is tied more closely to the actual garment. The money goes into cotton shirting, construction, and finish, rather than into a massive advertising engine. It is not just about looking premium, it is about showing the buyer what is actually there.
Gustin changes the model entirely. Instead of making large volumes and hoping the stock sells, the brand works through a pre-order system, where production starts only after enough buyers commit. That structure cuts waste, removes excess inventory, and strips out many of the retail costs built into traditional pricing. The result is strong value. Shirts and jeans made from premium fabrics, including Japanese materials, are sold at prices that reflect the product more than the marketing. Gustin also discloses fabric provenance, giving buyers visibility into where the cloth comes from. By removing unsold stock and brand overhead, the company puts more of the price back into the garment itself.
Proper Cloth has reshaped the custom shirt market by making fit, fabric, and construction more transparent. Each shirt begins with a made-to-measure approach built around the buyer rather than a generic off-the-rack size. The construction is also stronger than typical mass-market shirting, with details like single-needle stitching that create cleaner seams and better durability. Fabric listings add another layer of clarity, often showing weave, thread count, and country of origin. Prices usually range from $95 to $175, but unlike many branded shirts in that bracket, the cost here reflects real customization, labor, and fabric quality. What you pay is tied much more directly to what you wear.
Suit Supply takes the top spot because few brands in menswear align price, construction, and transparency this well. On its jackets and blazers, the company clearly states whether the piece is half canvas or full canvas directly on the product page. That matters because canvas construction affects drape, longevity, and how the garment performs over time. Many traditional retailers either hide that information or charge dramatically more for the same level of make. Suit Supply offers half-canvas tailoring at a price point that often sits far below competitors charging over $1,200 for comparable construction. Its direct-to-consumer model removes licensing and retail layers, keeping markup closer to the actual cost of craftsmanship and materials. Here, the label, the build, and the price are in honest alignment. Across all 10 brands, the pattern is clear. Price rarely equals quality. In menswear, a high price tag often reflects branding, distribution, and marketing more than fabric or construction. Real value comes from transparency, materials, and build, not status, not logos. Choose carefully. Dress for yourself.